Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your November 2019 mid-month general readings. Thanks for joining us here today. Welcome to any newcomers and welcome back followers and subscribers. And as always, thank you so much for all of your support, feedback, comments, likes, shares, and subscribes. I am still coming to you from my bare wall place in Poland, although I will be posting these later today and tomorrow, flying back to the States where I will be for a little while. So the next time you see me, I will be there. So welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us here today. This reading is for the fire sign of Leo, our lovely lions, for the last half of November 2019. Make sure to watch your rising sign, moon sign, Venus sign, for additional clarification and more pieces to the picture of what's going on in your life. But this is also for those of you who may be cross-watching for Leo as well. It's a general reading, so it's always going to resonate a little differently for everyone watching. Details and specifics will, of course, vary, but the fundamental energy remains the same regardless of what area of your life it's resonating in. And as always, for those of you who might be interested in reaching out to me for a personal one-on-one reading, live or recorded, you can click on the description link below for more contact info and details. You can email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you. I'm pretty diligent at scheduling readings within as timely a fashion as possible, coordinating both your schedule and my schedule, because I do readings full-time 5 to 6 days a week, sometimes more. So I try to get them out as quickly as I'm able to. So if you're interested, send me an email and we will go from there. All right, Leo, let's see what's in store for you for the last half of November 2019. I am using the Gilded Tarot from artist Ciro Marchetti. So Leo, we begin with the Ten of Cups, followed by the Two of Cups. We have the Seven of Wands, followed by the Knight of Pentacles. And from the bottom of the deck, your overall energy, focus, and advice is the High Priestess. Leo, I think for many of you, this is a continuation of some of what we saw perhaps at the beginning of the month. There was, I think a lot of you were going through a challenging time or are going through a challenging time in regards to walking away from a relationship, regardless of the nature of the relationship. Although I think for many of you it was likely love and romance, but it could be a relationship of a different nature. It could be another situation too. It could be, a project situation or a work situation. Although with the Two of Cups here, it's likely for a lot of you, it's a love and romance situation or a really best friend, kindred spirit sort of connection. So I think at the beginning of the month we saw, a walking away or turning away, leaving, whether it was a permanent breakup or a temporary one, because it was in your own best interest, even though there were still a lot of deep emotional connections and ties. And the challenge was kind of holding fast to that. And I see kind of a continuation of that here. We have the Ten of Cups and the Two of Cups, which is a beautiful combination. This is the happy home, happily ever after card. Cups, of course, is governed by the element of water, which in the tarot usually references the emotional side of us, our heart space, emotions, feelings, our emotional landscape, relationships. The Ten of Cups tends represent culmination, cycles ending, or coming to a point of fulfillment and achievement. So this is home happiness, peace, harmony, particularly in regards to home and family. It is one of the marriage cards, home bliss, childbirth, etc. And it's clarified by the Two of Cups, which is the traditional soulmate card. But it can also reference someone who is an actual love and romance partner at this time, or somebody that you simply feel is like your soulmate in terms of kindred spirit, because soulmates don't necessarily need to be of a romantic base. They can be best friends, kindred spirit, soulmate, opposite gender, same gender, etc. Somebody for whom you really get on a variety of different levels other than just the obvious physical ones. So in terms of what's important and relevant during the last half of November to you, it is this relationship and the happiness of your emotional happiness and home and family life. For some of you, it may be marriage. And I feel like some of you maybe, even if it's not the specific ceremony of marriage, whatever that type of level and commitment and responsibility kind of mean to you. Because I feel like there's a holdout here, whether you're the one kind of standing firm on, I want this to progress to a certain place because that's right for me. And if that's not right for you, even though it's difficult, even though it may be heartbreaking because I still care or I love you, I need to remove myself, because if I stay in a situation which isn't going where I need it to go, then I have no possibility, no potential of having that. So I think what we saw in the beginning of the month, which is still carrying out here, is the needing to walk away, whether or not, you know, sometimes doing that can prompt the situation you're leaving or the relationship, the person, to undergo a transformation and under which you come back together again after people kind of have some epiphanies and some awakenings, and then it proceeds forward. And sometimes you just have to remove yourself, as difficult or challenging or painful as it might be, like a romantic breakup, because that's the only way you can go through, you know, the healing process and thereby open yourself up for the potential of really having what you want down the road. So for some of you, it's going to be that, and for some of you, it isn't. It just kind of depends on how it plays out. But there's this, you know, difficult, challenging walking away or time of separation because you want this Ten of Cups. And the other person, and I feel like the other person, this is obviously your person, or you see them as your person, or you're really connected. So the implication here is that the other person loves and cares about you too. It's just that for whatever reasons, and you know, in a general reading, it's, you know, it's impossible. I mean, to tell. I mean, it could be, and it could be you're the one that's resisting this sort of step too. Maybe because of, you know, if it's, for marriage, maybe because, I mean, we do have the High Priestess, maybe it's because of your faith or your religion, or you feel that's what you need to do. And whoever it is that isn't wanting to go to that step, it's not that they don't love or care about you or you about them. It could be because, you know, maybe we see a lot of these kind of relationships fail. Maybe you've had really negative experiences or a previous bad marriage or something like that in the past. You know, we all have our own fears based on our own personal experiences that we've had. We have the Seven of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. And the Seven of Wands is sitting next to the Ten of Cups. You can read these up and down, and you can read these together too. They relate pretty much the same way. This is a card of defensiveness, of standing your ground, of defending something that you have a lot put into. And I think for here, it's, I mean, sometimes this can be, defending your home, your property, a belief system and ideology, standing up for yourself or someone else. I think here, particularly because it's sitting next to the Ten of Cups, this is a card that represents, for example, for those of you for whom this situation might relate to or resonate for, say that you are in a long-term committed relationship and you want to be married. You are steadfastly holding firm to that for a variety of reasons. You might think that it's the right thing to do for you on a spiritual and religious basis. You may feel like that's what you believe in relationships, going to that place, culminating in that. And you can't make that not be the case for you, so you're holding fast to that belief, that ideology, and knowing that that is what's right for you. This can also be the other person being, holding fast on what they believe, or being kind of stubborn, saying, I don't want to do that, why do we need to do that, etc. Although I think for the majority of you it's the first, but it might be you as well. The Seven of Wands is clarified by the Knight of Pentacles, which is, it actually, I think for some, it gives me hope for some of you in terms of this relationship. Now, of course, because this is a general reading, I have thousands of subscribers. It's not always going to work out the same way for everyone watching. I mean, how could it? But I do feel like for some of you, there is hope of this relationship transforming, but you have to go through with this kind of walking away separation in order for that to occur. Knights are the bringers, the deliverers of the tarot. They are the defenders. They're known for kind of coming in and coming out and being very spontaneous and impulsive because there's knights. They have a mission, a quest to accomplish, and they can be pretty single-minded about that. However, out of all four of the knights, the Knight of Pentacles, the Knight of Earth, is the slowest because he's governed by the element of Earth. That's the element which governs the suit of Pentacles. Pentacles in the tarot represents or points to the physical structure of our life, or things in the physical structure of our life that make the physical structure of our life feel solid, safe, stable, and secure, which is often why Pentacles references things like money, finance, property, resources, assets, job, home, property, etc. Those things that make us feel safe, or the efforts we put into that, into obtaining those things and maintaining those things. On an emotional level, it still can represent the same thing, the level of work and relevance and consideration and effort that we put into making us feel safe and secure, particularly in the day-to-day aspects of our life. So perhaps to go back to the example of those of you who want this relationship to go to marriage, it's not only what you feel is the right thing for you to do, but it will bring you a sense of, and that's understandable, stability and solidity and, a certain type of societal approval, etc., etc. You can fill in the blank with all of those things. But the Knight of Pentacles is slower moving. The other three of his brother knights are all faster moving, but they're also more easily distracted and sometimes not as prone to completing their mission and quest, because the Knight of Cups is distracted by emotions, the heat of the moment. The Knight of Wands is distracted by his fiery energy and exuberance and excitement, kind of like the tortoise and the hare in the race. It was actually the tortoise that won the race, which I often think of with the Knight of Pentacles, because he is the one knight, even though he's slow, cautious, protective. His horse is completely guarded. He is completely guarded. His shield is up. His spirit is up. His helm is down. This is a knight that goes a couple of steps, looks around, goes a couple of steps, looks around. So he's slower, but he's the one knight guaranteed to cross the finish line, guaranteed to accomplish his mission and quest. So in terms of bringing change, which knights do, they bring opportunities for change and offers, for that change. It's almost it's more or less guaranteed, but it's slow moving, very slow moving, and it's sitting next to the Two of Cups. So this is somewhat hopeful for some of you. I feel like those of you who are walking away need to continue in that course because it's right for you. And the High Priestess governing it says so too, because this is about trusting your intuition, trusting God's Spirit, your angels and guides, trusting what they're telling you and leading you to. Even if it's difficult, even if you can't see the rest of the road, it's about having faith and walking in faith, whatever that means to you. This could be for some of you that you're steadfastly standing by that, because you know if you follow a course for you, a course of action for you that you know is right for you, you trust that eventually, whether it's this person or maybe someone else down the road, it will come. For some of you, it may be that holding your ground is actually what will transform this relationship and bring it down the road to what you feel it needs to be. Perhaps it might be the awakening that the other person needs. Of course, you could be on the other side of this story as well. Overall energy and advice is the High Priestess, so it's about trusting in that, trusting in your intuition, regardless of what's going on externally, regardless of what other opinions you might be hearing. Give it more time. I feel like a lot of you have given this a considerable amount of time. So let's just pull one or two final message, guidance, advice. Oh, you had two just pop out here. The first one out is the Queen of Cups, followed by the Sun. Interesting. The Queen of Cups and the High Priestess are, I believe, the two most spiritual feminine characters in the tarot. The Queen of Cups is also about taking a step back. As advice, the Queen of Cups is about taking a step back and touching base with your feelings. And I don't mean surface mercurial feelings. She's a very spiritual, intuitive, quiet, loving sort of person. This is about taking a step back and touching base with your deep feelings, your deeper sense of intuition and knowing, and being very patient and calm and trusting in your faith and what you know is right for you, and waiting patiently for this cup that you're holding out to be filled. You can see that she's waiting quietly, gracefully. She's neither clutching her cup, her emotions, her love to her, nor, begging someone to take it, reaching, holding it way out there. She's just patiently waiting, holding it, waiting for someone to bring her that cup of love, exchange that cup of love with. Spiritual intuition too. Very powerful advice, the two of these together, about walking this path, even if it's difficult. And I can see and feel that it is, because I have a sense of heaviness and sadness in my heart looking at this, because this is the ultimate goal here. And Spirit matches that when we make difficult decisions for what we feel is a higher good or the right path. I believe that that gets fulfilled, whether it's sooner or whether it's later. I do. And I mean, here comes the Sun. After doing that, here comes the Sun, which is illumination, clarification, clarity, and uplifting of heavy energies. The Sun, I love the Sun. When the Sun, it's the most powerfully positive card in the tarot in its ability to affect all the surrounding cards in a spread. It can lessen challenging energy, and it acts as kind of a boost to all the other positive energy cards that are showing, or positive energy that's showing. It alleviates restrictive energies, lessens those, kind of uplifts the shadows, because the Sun shines over everything, so it affects everything. I feel like for a fair number of you, holding to what you believe is right has a pretty good chance of transforming this situation, coming back together a little ways down the road. Some of you, culminating in what you want. Others of you, it may not be with this person. This person may be your soulmate because of the lessons the two of you are meant to learn while you've been together. But this is what you're ultimately saying, I'm not going to compromise, and this is what your choices will ultimately lead you to, even if you can't see that in the moment or in this time. Because pain, especially emotional pain, can kind of put blinders on. It kind of insulates us from seeing too far ahead, which can be very difficult and challenging. But you're on the right path, Leo. Just continue with that right path. That's all about what this reading is about, which I feel for many of you is a continuation of what we saw at the beginning of the month. So Leo, that is your reading, your general reading for the last half of November 2019. I hope you found it helpful and encouraging. Stay with what you've chosen. It's the right thing to do. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the December, gosh, can you believe it's the end of the year already, the December 2019 general readings. And until then, as always, I wish you much love, joy, peace, strength, and healing as well. And again, if any of you are interested in reaching out for a personal one-on-one reading, you can click on the description link below. Email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. And I hope to see you back here again quite soon. Take care. Bye-bye.